My mom has stage 4 cancer in her bones and in her breast. My dad's disease was 15 years, he died of ALS. I made a podcast about death, seemed like the thing to do. And if you're sad by all of this, well, you're gonna die too. Happy week to you all, or sad week to y'all, depending on how you're feeling. It's Charles. If you're new, I'm Charles. If you're old, I'm still Charles. You guys, my play opened this weekend, and I am playing a real comedian who died by suicide. And I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty intense, but I just wanted to share a little bit with you about what I have been going through this past month. So whether you've been in a play or not, I thought I'd share a little bit more about the backstory and about the details. So auditions were held about 5 weeks ago. The appointment came in through Actors Access, which is an online site that holds casting notices about plays, film, television, short films, etc. I was immediately drawn to the material for the role of Elise. It said that the playwright was related to this woman, Anna Land, who died by suicide in 2018. And she was an actual comedian in Los Angeles pursuing her craft. I did my first round via self-tape. We had a callback in person where I met the playwright, and he immediately said I looked just like her. So cut to rehearsing for several weeks, and then we went up. We're at the Hudson Theater in Hollywood, and we have 2 more weekends of shows. So if you are in LA or find yourself in LA or live in LA, would love to have you. So we'll be up this Friday the 15th and Saturday the 16th at 8 p.m. And we'll also have shows the 29th, 30th, and 1st, all at 8 p.m. But I've been going through a lot, just having worked on this material and thinking about what it would be like to be Anna, and how comedians with alcoholic tendencies, who are alcoholics, who suffer from borderline personality disorders, and who die by suicide are prevalent, and how they're represented in the community and how they're not represented and how they're often not talked about. This was a really cool opportunity, and I was like so excited, but I also felt pressure to tell her story well and to do the project justice. That said, weirdly, I felt a divine timing and a divine connection. And I also was always going into this saying, of course, I'm not going to portray her perfectly. I mean, I'm not her. And the goal isn't to emulate her. It's to represent her and what she went through. And knowing that the writer and director is related to her was an extra amount of pressure, but it was also very calming in a way, because he hired me for a reason, and all I can do is my best. So here's the log line about what the play is about. It's called Blaze. Blaze is a dramatic stage play examining the long-lasting effects of personal trauma and how it alters the dynamic of a contemporary middle-class family. Focused through a lens of substance addiction, the brother of an alcoholic borderline attempts to hold an intervention to save his sister from the fate which befell their father. So in real life, the playwright, Michael, his dad died by suicide when he was 8. His brother was later murdered in college, and then he lost his sister, Anna, to suicide in 2018, which is quite recent. And what an alarmingly upsetting set of events, right? So if anyone is listening and is feeling heavy hearing that, I stand with you, because you are correct. And it would be really great to have Michael on the podcast sharing his story, which is something I'm sure we will make happen when we're not in the throes of this production. So I wanted to share that. And Michael's family came last weekend, and many had flown in from Northern California and Georgia and Colorado. And many of them said the same thing, that I looked just like her and my mannerisms were similar. Some people asked if they could hug me or hold my hand or take a photo or share a story about her at the cast party after the show. And it was just very emotional. So if any of the family is listening, I wanted to thank you for sharing your stories and for being so kind and welcoming. That must not have been easy to have seen essentially the story of your family's life told on stage. Of course, it was fictionalized and heightened for the stage. It's a 6-person cast. So Michael plays the lead, Marty, his brother is in the show, his mom, their cousin Greg, his girlfriend, and then myself. Spoiler alert, I do die in the play. So in Act 1, I'm alive. In Act 2, I am dead. And I interject with stand-up and storytelling sets throughout the show. Michael was open to my influence in being able to share some of my own jokes and how I might talk and present material through my monologues, which was such a cool opportunity and a gift because it's not always that way. I think that's something really special and interesting about a new work and about a premiere. It's being workshopped along the way, right? There was cuts, there was additions, there were changes, which is challenging as an actress, but also empowering and interesting. And being able to say things in your own way, in your own words is really, really cool. So I'm just feeling a bit heavy, having just met the family and having had that experience and really going to this dark place in my mind night after night. For instance, last week, we had dress rehearsal Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, open Sunday. We also filmed the play 3 times. So we had a 12-hour day Friday. We filmed it twice. And then Saturday, we filmed it once. So this play will exist at some point online. Happy to share that link. So it's just heavy going there every day. I'll also share that last week was my birthday. It was my funeral-themed birthday party. It was my mom's birthday, April Fool's Day, and the anniversary of my dad's death, and opening night. So that was all within 1 week. If you can imagine why I'm a little overwhelmed. I mean, things like my birthday, my mom's birthday, and my dad's death day are always back to back, but now we have these other things thrown in there. And yes, I did have a funeral-themed birthday. So my friend Brenna, who's a therapist, is interviewing me on Monday about that. So that episode will come out in coming weeks. And someone found out that I was having a funeral-themed birthday. My friend Liz Eddy, who's the owner of Lantern, I've had her on the show, and she connected me to someone else in New York who's having a funeral-themed birthday. So we will be talking about our funeral-themed birthdays together as well. So more on that later. My invitation was like so weird and funny and wild. And I was like, thanks for being my RI peeps. Let me know you're coming. Of course, like, don't be a ghost. Let me know either way. And if you're not here for these puns, you're dead to me. Don't you love a good/bad pun? I do. Anyways, that's what I've been up to. I feel like I've been a little quieter on social media, but I did share a photo of the makeup I had done for the party, which was half skeleton face, half glam. That's at Chels Who Else if you want to see that. And yeah, that's why I've just been kind of down lately, but also excited. I mean, the best part about the play so far is getting to share the stage with other actors after the pandemic. That's really powerful. I also grew up doing 2 to 3 plays per year from when I was 5 to 18. And I've really taken a turn to more focusing on stand-up. But when this play presented itself, I was like, this is amazing. This is a drama, but I get to be a comedian. And the most challenging part is definitely playing a real person, just wanting to honor her. I did not study her videos intently. I did look at photos. I made sure to shape my own performance first so that I was not like copying her. I've actually yet to see a video where she speaks. So that's something I plan to look into in the next week or so before the remaining performances. But now that my own performance is set, I feel like it can influence what I'm doing without changing what I'm doing. Yeah, and that's what I wanted to share with you guys. I was also just going through so much in my mind about the differences that we all share having faced different kind of losses. And as you guys know, like my dad died to ALS, which is very different than any other kind of loss, right? There's illness, addiction, suicide, accidents, homicide, etc. And I feel that this experience has helped me deepen my understanding of those impacted by suicide. It is, of course, not to say that I understand. Until you've been there, you do not understand. My siblings and family have not died by suicide, so I cannot understand. But I really wanted to just give a big old podcast hug to those who have been impacted suicide recently long ago, or anywhere in between, and just tell you that you are magnificent, you are wonderful, you are hurt, you are challenged, you are empowered, you are struggling, you are loved. I see you, and I see you. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I can't see you. I'm really just looking at my printer right now because that's what's behind my podcasting equipment, and then like a window, and then there's like a dog outside my window. So that's really more of who I'm seeing, but I also see you. I see you. If anyone has questions about my experience being in this play called Blaze, do let me know. You can always shoot me a message on Instagram at DyingOfLaughterPodcast. And if you want to learn more about the show, blazestageplay.com. That's blazestageplay.com. The details are on my Instagram. They'll also be in the show notes. And if you are in Los Angeles and you're available the 15th, 16th, 29th, or 30th of April or 1st of May, we're at the Hudson Theater at 8 p.m. in Hollywood. And I would love to personally extend a few comps to my Dying of Laughter listeners. So DM me on the pod at DyingOfLaughterPodcast and let me know you heard it here, and I will get you in for free. I've got about 5 comps, so would love to offer those to you guys. Thanks so much for listening. Hang in there. That's my little update for this week. And next week, I'll be back with an interview with Oak Tree Memorials, going behind the scenes of how these 2 guys left Silicon Valley to open their own company online, and they virtually sell cremation jewelry and urns, and they are funny and awesome. We will be talking about that good stuff next week. So always open to listening to you guys grieve about your people, about your drama, about your sadness, or just like want to share a fun fact. It's all game. It's all Gucci. Have a blessed or a fucked up day. And remember, Yodo, you only die once. My mom has stage 4 cancer in her bones and in her breast. My dad's disease was 15 years, he died of ALS. I made a podcast about death, seemed like the thing to do. And if you're sad by all of this, well, you're gonna die too.